In this lesson, we will introduce the subject of structs. Let's say we need a system where personal information is listed. We need to use this information by passing it to variables from the database. How should we create our variables? Is it necessary to create a variable for each data separately, as you can see in our example? Here, we kept personal data such as name, age, job in separate variables. Imagine the variables we have to create to hold the data of hundreds or thousands of people, even though that's starting to cause confusion. How to even name each of them is a mystery. So, how can we fix this problem? In fact, we provide the solution with structs. Let's define a structure called person. When defining a structure, it is defined with the keyword struct somewhere outside the main function. It doesn't matter if it is defined above or below the main function. Moreover, as we will see about modules, you can also define structures in different files. We specify the names and types of fields in curly brackets. You must separate each field with a comma. We determined which components the struct should be made of. Now, let's move on to the practical side, create our structure and examine its use. First, I start by creating the struct in the presentation. Next, we need to bind our struct to a variable. Thus, after we create the values of our struct by writing in the code, we will bind the values we have assigned to the variable. Remember to close the curly brackets with semicolons when linking to the variable. Moreover, you can use the toString method from the shortcut to create a string. We have bound our structure to the variable and now we are ready to use it. First, let's print the name value in the struct. We provide access to the fields of our structure with the dot operator. Now, let's print a few more fields. We have successfully printed the fields of the struct. In some cases, we may need to print the structure in debug mode. But if we try to print the structure, we will get an error. Let's see the problem that comes up. Since the struct we created is a special type, the default formatter does not know how to print it. We haven't seen the thread issue yet, but here it is necessary to implement debug to print the struct. Let's see the shortcut for now. We can derive the debug implementation above the line where we created the struct. To print, we need to use debug formatting in the println macro. We need to integrate the display implementation so that we can print the structure we created without using debug formatting. Since we will touch on this subject in the thread section, I don't want to disperse the subject for now. Moreover, Rust provides pre-printing. We cannot change the fields inside the struct in their current form because we didn't define it as mutable. As you can see, we got an error. Let's make the current struct mutable and see the result again. When we look at the previous and next state of the struct, we see that the values it holds have changed.